Public hearings, appeals, presentation, recognitions, and awards. This is a presentation by the representatives of Keep Broken Arrow Beautiful to provide an update of the commemorative Rose Garden fundraising efforts and identifying Broken Arrow as the City of Roses. We've got Peggy and Sharon, I think, coming up.
Good evening. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come before you and talk to you about something that is close to our hearts. I just wanted to remind you that the purpose of our meeting here today is asking that Broken Arrow would adopt the tagline of City of Roses and to promote it in such a way that visitors and residents of Broken Arrow, too, will be drawn to the wonderful history of Broken Arrow and roses. From 1920 to the 1950s, you all have heard the history, I'm sure, of Broken Arrow was known as the City of Roses and sparkling clean water, spring water, excuse me. Every house planted roses. There was a rose carnival, rose shows, a rose queen and princesses, a rose float. So it was a big deal. 6 years ago, Dr. Oliver and Beverly Forster were having coffee discussing the history of Broken Arrow, and they decided we need to do something to bring back to life the history of Broken Arrow and roses. And at that time, the Keep Broken Arrow Beautiful committee was formed. I am one of the co-chairs of that committee. I also am on the Keep Broken Arrow Beautiful board. So I'm speaking to you for both organizations. Our 4th annual Rose Festival and Rose Show will be held this year on May 6th. Multiple rose gardens have been constructed all over Main Street and around Broken Arrow. Most recently, as we all are familiar with, the extension to the South Main Street. We've all been affected and admire every day when we drive by there the gardens that are being constructed down there. It's been a very nice addition to Main Street. The gardens add to the charm and to the attractiveness of the Rose District and to our city because they have been extended to neighborhood entrances and also to people's gardens. Bring Back the Rose Committee is doing something different this year. We're going to add to our Rose Festival a Plant a Rose Week, which is April 17th through the 23rd. We have 4 local nurseries who have committed to offer how to plant roses classes and also discounts for people who buy roses during that week. And we're encouraging everyone to plant a rose in your garden. A 6-acre commemorative garden has been designed, and the City of Roses recognition. This is the picture of the garden. And the City of Roses designation would be a very helpful tool as we are working toward raising funds for this garden. It would be helpful to us because we could then, we could tell the donors how important it is for this garden and how it dovetails in with the Rose District and the history of Broken Arrow and roses. Many people believe we already are the City of Roses. They think we are, but we haven't officially been proclaimed that. We have 10 letters of support for our action. I'll present those to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
And these letters come from AVB Bank, Broken Arrow Chamber, Broken Arrow Main Street Merchants Association, the Museum of Broken Arrow, Broken Arrow Neighbors, Broken Arrow Rotary Club, Starlight Civitans, Nelson Nissan, the mayor of Broken Arrow, and former superintendent of Broken Arrow Schools, historian and community volunteer, Dr. Oliver. One of the letters that we received stated this: Broken Arrow has been an innovative leader in suburban community growth and development. Take this bold step in branding Broken Arrow as the City of Roses. If businesses use this tagline in their advertising, every single ad will offer collateral advertising for the city and for the Rose District. Brandon Murphy is going to come forward to speak.
How are you gentlemen doing, ladies? I first got involved with these very excited gardeners about 3-4 years ago. Beverly Forster has bought cars from our Nissan dealership for, gosh, I guess going on 25 years, and she had pity on me many years ago and decided to buy a few vehicles from us. And so through the years, we've had a great relationship. And I guess about 2 years ago, she had brought this idea that we could get involved with the city of Broken Arrow through the Rose District and through sponsoring different events. And she's a very convincing person. We should have hired her on our sales force. But she got us involved with it, and so much so that the Nelson family I was fortunate enough to mention that to Bob Nelson and his family, and they've been integral in the early stages of growth in Broken Arrow and through the Ford dealership and through Nissan and moving Mazda, but definitely strong ties to our city. And so what was really interesting about the whole process is that as we got involved with helping her out, we also saw an opportunity to give towards this charity, in that we could possibly even honor his mother and father for all the time that they've spent just in his life and what that meant for him. And it really just began to open up a lot of conversations about what something, a garden like this could mean for different people in our community. And so through this process, as a business owner and someone that's involved in the auto industry, I began to have a few light bulbs that came on, and it really came from a marketing standpoint. We have two other Nissan competitors in our city, Jackie Cooper and Jim Glover, and we're always trying to figure out how to outdo each other. And one of the challenges that we always face is that what's your location? And recently we were filming some television commercials, and in the process of this, I just said, we've got to make Broken Arrow bigger in the television spot. And they redid it and came back, it's not big enough. And somehow people still think that one of our competitors is next to our Mazda store in Tulsa. And so we need to really drive traffic to Broken Arrow. And I kept emphasizing that. And I went straight from that meeting into one of the Rose Garden meetings. And I thought, aha, this is so obvious. I don't think I could grow a rose if my life depended on it, but I do think that what we could all stand to benefit from the business community could be pretty amazing. And in that, we're always trying to drive people to Broken Arrow to buy our goods and services. And so for me, branding is extremely important. We do that continually through our car companies and what we do. And if you have a destination that's branded, it seems as though that it has a much stronger appeal. And I grew up in Broken Arrow. I went to high school and such here and lived here for many years. And I've always felt like, as a part of that, this would be a really great opportunity for us, especially in the business community, to bring people to Broken Arrow for more than just coming home from work. And I felt like that has a strong tie for me as a business owner, and it really is something that I could get excited about in differentiating my location from the other competitors that we're always trying to vie for market share, and definitely see that as a huge blessing for us. So seeing all the excitement that's behind that from just a retailer standpoint, I would encourage this council to name or to tag the city with the City of Roses. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any comments?
Well, I serve on Keep Broken Arrow Beautiful Committee and have for quite some time. I know that the vice mayor has served on in the past. I think that this is, it fits well with the Rose District and what we would want to do, and I think that it would be a good idea to look at this, and I think Broken Arrow is already a city of roses, so I think it would be nice to be known as a city of roses. And I notice on the agenda item it says informational, no action required, but so I don't know what steps we can take, but I would sure like to see this come back before us for a decision on that at some point in the near future.
Just to follow up on Councilman Udi's comment, a couple of weeks ago, he and I met with Peggy and Brandon, and they were talking about their awesome project that someday they'd like to bring to fruition. And it was discussed about having our city designated as such for the reasons that Brandon talked about. And we discussed that should we have a facility like this someday, the amount of tourism that it could generate for our city certainly would definitely be a benefit to all of us, in addition to those folks that live here have the opportunity to be a part of the facility. And we discussed the fact that we're in the process of developing the next round of general bond obligations, and the council will take that matter up probably sometime this summer, and then we will do the surveys and asking our citizens what they feel is important, and then marrying the ideas from the council administration with the public, and then put the proposal out. And obviously, facilities is something that's extremely important to the city going forward, albeit it's an existing facility for something that has potential future benefits for us. And so I asked them to come this evening to make this recommendation to the council and ask you to take it under advisement, and then let us just vet it out to make sure that there's no unintended consequences associated with doing this, and then bring it back to you probably sometime in April for you to take formal action. But it's something that I certainly support and feel like it would be in the best interest of our city to do so.
Thank you.
I would support that.
That's good.